Hi everyone, welcome back to Move Wilder. My name is Hannah and today I'm going to take you through a really simple breathing exercise you can do to help to build strength in the core and really get the understanding of how the pelvic floor, core and breathing work together. If you have got a band, a resistance band, or even like a belt would work, we're going to start with some really simple breathing into the side of the rib cage. So we're going to do this seated. So sitting however you're comfy, going to bring the band up around the back of you, and then we're going to cross the band over so the band is on the rib cage. You're not holding it really tight, it's just a loose hold on the band. And then what I want you to think about doing is as you inhale, going to think about pushing that diaphragm down into your abdominal space, and the rib cage is going to expand out to the sides, but also the front and back. So you should feel that band expanding from kind of a 360 all the way around your body. So we're going to take an inhale, feel that lovely expansion, then exhale, just feel that rib cage close down and that core switch on a little bit. So you should almost feel like your middle is kind of like sloping in a little bit as that core contracts. So we're going to take an inhale and then exhale. Core squeezes in, inhale, release. Feel that rib cage pushing out into the side of the band, exhale. Rib cage comes in, you feel the band can get a little bit tighter. Again, inhale, release. And then exhale. Okay, going to take this onto our backs next. So, I'm going to come down to laying on the floor. Feet are flat on the floor, going to interlace your fingers over the top of your rib cage. This time we're going to think about adding in the pelvic floor as well. So as we inhale, what we're going to feel is that rib cage expanding out to the side. Belly softens as the rib cage expands out to the sides, front and back. And then as we exhale, I just want you to feel how in the middle it gets a little bit more tense, so you engage that core as that diaphragm moves back up into your abdominal space. So we're going to inhale, rib cage expands, exhale, draw that rib cage down, so almost like your rib and your hip are connected and you're just bringing them a little bit closer together. So we're inhaling, release. Exhale, switch it on. Draw that rib cage down towards your hips, hold, inhale. Release, exhale. Switch that back on. Now I want you to think about the pelvic floor. So your diaphragm and your pelvic floor are like the top and bottom of that transverse abdominis, that TVA, that cylinder of muscle in the middle. So as you inhale, diaphragm goes down, pelvic floor releases. As you exhale, diaphragm comes up, pelvic floor also comes up. So if you pop your fingers in the inside of your hip bones, you might have to push down a little bit hard to kind of feel this. I'm going to take an inhale, and you won't feel a lot under the fingers, but when you exhale, you should feel a bit of tension happening under the fingers, and that's the pelvic floor and the fascia linking the pelvic floor to your other muscles coming in and contracting and working. So we're going to inhale, release. Exhale. Feel that switch on. Inhale, release. Exhale. Switch it all on. Now, hopefully you can feel that under your fingertips. Now what I want you to also try and think about is as you feel that exhale and feel that switch on under the fingertips, thinking about your sit bones, I want you to imagine you're trying to make that gap between your sit bones smaller, and the gap between your pubic bone and your tailbone, make that smaller too. So you're drawing up from the sides and also the front and back. So we're going to inhale, release. Everything softens. Exhale. Pulling up those sit bones, pelvic floor bone and pubic bone. Inhale, release. Exhale. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. We're going to do 4 more breaths, and I'm not going to talk through these ones. I'm going to let you focus on what's happening. I would suggest you maybe move a hand to your belly if you're finding the idea of that 360 breathing in your belly softening hard. I'd move your hand there. If you're finding that pelvic floor connection more tricky, which tends to be the one that is more tricky, just keep those fingers pushed into the side of the hip so you can get that connection between the strength under the fingers and the fact that that pelvic floor is lifting. If you need a little bit more kind of connection to the rib cage, you could put your band around the ribs, gently hold it and feel that connection as the ribs splay out and you feel that connection with the floor but underneath you as well. So here we go, 4 breaths. So we're going to inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more here. Then you're going to just take your legs out long, take your arms up above your head, just give yourself a full body stretch. And then we're going to roll back up to sitting. And that was just the really simple breathing between and getting used to the connection between your breathing, your pelvic floor and your core, and how they all work in synergy together. This is a great exercise for you to do a couple of times a week just to really get that pelvic floor and core functioning well, and it's going to help with building a stable, strong middle. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on the mat again very soon. Bye for now.